Hi there. This is the book The Little Train That Won a Medal, published in 1947. And this was Grandpa Bobby's favorite book when he grew up, read to him many, many times by his father, Samuel Waldman. And now we'll read it once again. This is my wonder book for Kennedy Waldman and for Jackson Waldman. The Little Train That Won a Medal. The little blue train stood in the station waiting to start on his trip. Every so often, an impatient sigh of smoke puffed from his engine, and finally he tooted and whistled crossly, "Come on, let's go!" At that, the conductor shouted, "All aboard!" For he could see that the little blue train was restless and wanted to get out of the dark station and into the sunny countryside. Conductor waved his lantern to the engine, signaling that he could start now. And with a merry whistle and a mighty jerk, the little blue train started on his way. He puffed hard at first because he wasn't used to the exercise, but pretty soon he was running along quite smoothly through the green countryside. All of the children came out to wave to him, and the horses, sheep, and pigs, and even some of the chickens looked up and watched the blue train chugging by. The train was happy to have so many friends, and he whistled and waved a puff of white smoke at all of them in greeting, since he couldn't stop to say hello. Now, on the same track that the little blue train had used, there was a big new train called the Silver Streamliner. This was the fastest train in the world, and it wasn't painted yellow or red or blue or black like the other trains. No, it was painted all in glittering silver, so that when it sped by, it looked like a great flash of light. It was very beautiful to see. It had such a powerful engine that its smoke was black. And after the silver train had flashed by, there was always a little smudge of black smoke in the air. The children would wave to the Silver Streamliner too, but it went past so swiftly that by the time they had raised their hands to wave, it was gone, and there was only the faint black smudge left to see. So they preferred the friendly little blue train, which wasn't in such a hurry. But the little blue train thought the Silver Streamliner was wonderful. He didn't mind having to get out of the way to wait on a sidetrack while the silver streamer passed. And this happened quite often, because the speedy streamliner whizzed back and forth several times while the blue train was still making his first trip. Then the blue train would be signaled to get out of the way, and he would pull over to the side track and wait while the streamliner went on without even slowing up to say thank you. All the stops made the blue train's trip take even longer, but he didn't care. He just watched the proud streamliner whiz past, and he sighed and wished he could be a silver streamliner too someday. Rickety-rackety, clickety-clackety, the little blue train was going along the track whistling a little tune. And when he went around a curve of track and the whistle changed to a screech of surprise, for what do you think he saw? There, on the track ahead, was the mighty Silver Streamliner, and it was standing absolutely stock still. No one had ever seen it stop before, except in the station. The air above it was quite clear. There was no black smoke. There wasn't even any white smoke. Something was the matter. Very timidly, the little blue train chugged up to his hero to find out what was wrong. "Good morning, Mr. Streamliner," he said. "Is anything the matter? Can I be of any assistance?" he added politely. The silver streamliner just sighed sadly. Then he groaned. "Something is wrong with my engine and I can't move. Oh, what will I do? I'll be so late. I've never been late before, not even in my whole life." By this time, a crowd of children had gathered around the two trains. Some of them touched the shiny silver streamliner. He paid no attention to them, but the little blue train smiled at them and said hello, for they were his old friends. "Perhaps I can help," offered the blue train. "I could run back to the station and bring someone to fix you." "Hump," snorted the streamliner. "That would take you all day. You're so pokey." And the little blue train had to admit that it was so. No one stopped to think that one of the reasons he was so pokey was that he was always having to stop and let the streamliner go by. The blue train thought and thought, for something must be done to help the proud streamliner. "I know," cried the little blue train at last. "I'll push you." "You'll what?" yelled the streamliner. And in spite of his troubles, he began to laugh. "I'll push you," repeated the little blue train. "Ho, ho, ho," laughed the streamliner, and for the first time he looked at the children. "Did you hear what he said, children? The puny little blue train is going to push me. Me! Me! Ho, ho, ho!" But the children didn't laugh. They thought it was a very good idea. The streamliner stopped laughing and he growled at the blue train. "Well, try to push me if you want to. I don't think you can." The little blue train wasn't so sure he could either, but he had to try. So he started forward. Crash! He bumped into the streamliner, but he couldn't budge it, and he stopped too. "I guess you're right, Mr. Streamliner. I was silly to think I could push you." And the little blue train looked very sad. But the children all shouted, "Yes, you can, little blue train. Yes, you can." And some of them went and got buckets of coal, and others brought buckets of water, and they filled the blue train's engine in the right places with the coal and water, more than he had ever held before. "Now try, little blue train," they cried. The little blue train felt the coal and water making his engine strong, and he heard the voices of his friends cheering him on, and he tried again. He puffed a big cloud of white smoke, and he jerked forward and pushed and pushed. "Come on, little blue train, you can do it," cried the children, and even the streamliner said, "Come on, little blue train, maybe you can do it." The blue train chugged and chugged and pushed, and suddenly his white smoke turned to gray, and he moved a little. He chugged and pushed some more, and his gray smoke turned black, and presto, he was moving the streamliner. "Hooray!" shouted the children. "Hooray, hooray!" shouted the streamliner. But the little blue train was chugging too hard to say anything, so he just waved his black puffs of smoke at everyone. Clickety, clackety, rickety, rackety, the blue train pushed the streamliner. And they went pretty fast, too, because they didn't have to get out of the way for anybody. When they arrived at the station, there was a great crowd of cheering people, and the streamliner wasn't very late at all. As they pulled to a stop, the streamliner turned to the hot and weary blue train and said, "Many thanks, little friend. You have saved me from being terribly late. And that was the nicest ride I've ever had." Then suddenly he unscrewed the big silver disc on the side that said Streamliner in beautiful red letters. Someone in the crowd gave him some ribbon, and he tied the disc around the little blue train smokestack like a medal, while the blue train blushed for joy. And now the little blue train rides through the countryside, puffing his white clouds of smoke at the children. He still stops on the sidetrack to let the silver streamers stream by, but they whistle to each other now. "Hi," whistles the little blue train. "Thanks, pal," whistles the streamliner. But these days, when the little blue train chugs back on the main track, he goes clickety-clack, rickety-rackety, clink-clank. The clink-clank is the metal banging on his engine, and it makes him feel proud, just like a silver streamliner. This was a wonder book for Kennedy Waldman and Jackson Waldman. Thank you.